Gardening friends, I'm Caitlin Miller and I'm from Miller Flowers here in Greenville, Ohio. We are a greenhouse garden center and florist. So this is part 2 of my gardening series where we talk all things gardening. So this series is called To Plant a Garden, which we're going to chat a little bit about here in this episode. And I would also love to show you what we've been up to in the greenhouse today. So we've been planting a lot of geraniums and a lot of petunias, and I'd like to show you that, just what's been happening here. So to kick off episode 2 of To Plant a Garden, here's another great reason why many people plant a garden, including my family. One of the reasons why many people plant a garden or should garden is that garden produce is better for you. When you preserve your own produce or your own food, you know exactly what is in it and what you are canning. Not only is it better for your health, but it's also better for your physical health as well. Gardening is essential to our physical and mental health. You know that gardening reduces the risk of stroke, burns calories, relieves stress, strengthens your immune system, plus so many other benefits. It also grounds you to nature. Gardening improves your mental health, and there's nothing like, I was just telling one of our staff members today, it can be a cloudy day and it can be cold outside, but inside the greenhouse there's just something about the smell of soil and your fingers in the dirt and planting flowers that bring you so much joy. And so imagine that, having a stressful day at work and then coming home and putting your hands in the soil, whether it's planting a plant in a container or maybe it's working in the garden. It improves your mental health, gives you clarity, and brings a lot of joy to your day. Not only that, but gardening gives you great pride in growing your own food. There's so much fun in planting a seed into the ground, seeing it sprout, come to life in form of a plant, and then start producing fruit and veggies, and then harvesting them and putting them on your table to feed your family. Not only is it a great sense of pride, but nurturing that love and that care for plants, for something living in your family's hearts and minds as well. That is something that they will carry on for the generations to come. So gardening may seem like a lot. How to get started? What do I do? And so for a few minutes, I want to share with you some tips on how to get started. Or perhaps you've been gardening for years, and maybe this is a great refresher. So if you're gardening for the first time, I would recommend doing a little bit of reading or some research into gardening, into what you're going to be planting. And so some of the books that I would highly recommend, which make great reading material this time of year when it's cold outside, but it's warm inside under your blankets with your cup of coffee. This book is called The Heirloom Gardener, The Baker Creek Way of Growing Your Own Food Easily and Naturally by the co-founders of the Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. This is a very great book, has lots of information on gardening and how to start seeds, plus more in this book. Next book I would recommend is Vertical Gardening by Derek Fell. This is also a great book on growing your produce up and down versus going the horizontal way. Next up is Gardening When It Counts by Steve Solomon. This is also a great book on growing your own food, growing food in hard times. I think everyone should be reading this book right now, but that is another great book to add to your collection. You can also do a lot of research online on the internet. You can look it up, gardening, on Google, and it brings up so many different articles and information to read. Today is a great time of year to start planning out your garden. What am I going to plant? That is a big question for everyone. What does your family, or maybe it's you and your husband, or maybe it's you by yourself, what do you like to eat? Maybe write that down. What do you like to eat? What do you want to preserve and can? Or are you going to eat everything fresh? Are you going to freeze? What do we have a lot of? Is it spaghetti? Because if it's spaghetti, you can or freeze tomato sauce. So that is something that you can add to your list to create your plan on what you're going to be gardening. After you created your list on all of your veggies that you want to grow, you need to think about a space or a spot to put your garden. So if you have an area outside your door, maybe it's beside the patio, it needs to be in full sun. So make sure that it's getting plenty of 8 to 9 hours of sun per day. That is considered full sun, and most all veggies thrive in that area. Lettuce can take it a little bit more in the part shade, half a day of sun location, but the rest of the plants need full sun in order to produce efficiently. If you don't have a gardening space, maybe the only space you have is on a patio. Did you know that you can garden in containers? That's called foodscaping, and that's actually becoming very popular in the United States in the past few years. So foodscape is gardening in containers, and you can actually plant a lot of veggies in containers. And so we're actually having a foodscape workshop that is coming up in March, and that's on our website if you want any information or want to join us for that foodscape workshop. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be planting lettuce in a grow bag to take home. After figuring out really those two big things, what am I going to garden and where am I going to garden, the fun of gardening begins. So in our next video, we're going to chat about seed starting. How do I start my own seeds? Where do I start my own seeds? And what with? We're going to be chatting about that on our next video. We're also going to be talking about our favorite tomatoes on our next video as well. So stay tuned and join us next time. I almost forgot. I was going to show you what we've been up to today out here at Miller Flowers. So today we have the greenhouse, the main greenhouse turned on, the heat is on. We are filling it up full of flowers because, you know, it's only 12 weeks until Mother's Day, and so we have lots of planting to be done. So today we planted Trixie mixes. So right here through here is all Trixie mixes. And so what is a Trixie mix? It's actually, this is the Calibracoa Trixie mix. There's 3 plants in 1 plug. It's so cool. 3 plants in 1 plug. Over here, throughout here is geraniums. So this is our gallon geraniums. And then all the way back there is our geranium hanging baskets that are big and full and beautiful in the spring. That's what we've been planting today. So yes, we start pretty early on these plants, start planting away, and then in 12 weeks, which would be Mother's Day, it's time for you to start planting it outside. So we are so excited for spring. So thanks for watching our video. Remember to subscribe, share our content with others, and maybe drop us a comment. Are you excited for spring? Yes or no? So we can't wait to see you all, and have a wonderful day, and see you next time on To Plant a Garden with Caitlin.